Hello and welcome back to Hot Girl Guide. Hi, happy Monday. How are we? Hot Girl Guide has got an energetic level up in the form of an adorable pink mic. If you are watching the video for the podcast today, I upgraded my mic. I had my other mic for 5 or 6 years, I would say, which is crazy because that's 2020. We're not going to get into that, don't worry. But it was big, it was bulky. In the last episode, it was like wobbling around a bit, so there's a bit of background noise. So sorry if your ears had really good quality headphones on, you could hear that. But I was like, you know what, it's time for an upgrade. And of course I went pink. I have this pink little like sippy cup thing. There's Monster inside of it. But I've decided, you know what, until I get a sponsorship, there are going to be no logos in this podcast. Okay? Listen, I know I've done this at the start of a few episodes, but I just want to thank everyone for the support on the podcast coming back. If you are new to Hot Girl Guide, you have so many episodes to catch up on. It's actually very exciting. I love that for you. And if you are a true seasoned girly who has been following since the start, it actually doesn't matter what category of Hot Girl Guide supporter, follower, content consumer you fall into. Like, I love and adore all of you. The followers are going up and up and up. This week we are going to talk all about taking your power back in relationships and in friendships, romantic relationships, platonic relationships. I don't care. We all have a certain power to give in relationships, and we all have a version of us that can be unlocked by people if they show up in our lives a certain way, right? So for example, if you're talking to someone romantically and they're being really nice and they're asking you on dates and they're surprising you and maybe they're giving you gifts or they're just showing up in the way that makes you feel really, really safe. It doesn't matter what that looks like for you. If they're showing up in that way, they get a version of you that not everyone else gets because they're showing up for you in a way not everyone else does. And this is so true at the start of a romantic relationship. So you'll start seeing someone. I'm just going to talk from my experience, and I'm a straight woman. So when I start talking to a guy, any time in the history of times that I have started talking to a man, it always starts in a way of pursual, right? So someone is pursuing you and they want you, right? They want to make you their girlfriend or boyfriend if they're dating for that. Maybe they want to just sleep with you. Whatever they want from you, they want you, they're pursuing you. Therefore, they're doing things that make you more comfortable with them. They're doing things like maybe they're buying you gifts, maybe they're communicating really well, maybe they're showing up, maybe they're always planning dates, and maybe you never leave a date wondering when you're going to see them again because they're really on it, right? And in my personal experience, you can always tell when someone is like vying for your attention in that way. You can always tell when someone is really eager. There's just always an energy there. And that's the energy we want, okay? We should never be even entertaining the idea of anyone who isn't making us feel like wanted or chased or blank, right? We just shouldn't entertain anything else. Okay. So at the start, it's going really well. And then they unlock a version of you, okay? They unlock a version of you that feels comfortable, that feels safe, that is like, oh, I kind of like this person. And then the energy switches a bit, okay? It's all a dance. Romantic relationships are a dance. And I use the rubber band theory so much when I'm talking to my friends. I always use the rubber band theory that you want to keep the rubber band tense in the start of chatting to someone romantically. And it's not about playing games, okay, girlies? It is not. I'm not talking about playing games. It's not about playing games. And I'm not talking about playing games. And I'm not encouraging manipulation or playing games or anything like that. But it's all about attraction, right? And attraction is a dance, okay? You cannot let someone know all of your deepest, darkest secrets within a day of meeting them. Like, there has to be a bit of mystery there. I don't care what you say, I will die on that hill. attraction is a dance and attraction is a game, and it's not a game in a manipulation way, but it's just a game in a, you just be a little coy sometimes, or you just be a little mysterious, or you just be a little unavailable, okay? You don't have to turn it into this big psychological mental warfare, but just what you have to do is remember that you are your own priority, and you always have to keep yourself your own priority over someone else, okay? I have this one friend, she started seeing a guy. Stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, amazing. She started seeing the guy. He was being fantastic, okay? He was planning dates. He was surprising her. Every single time she left a date, she knew when she was going to see him again, because he would ask, like, when can I see you again? Like, everything was going great. And then the energy switched up. His communication dipped a little. And she found herself in this place of, oh my God, what do I do? Like, is he changing how he feels about me? What's going on? And then, of course, she got really anxious, and she got really like, oh my God, he hasn't texted back, and he usually texts back by now. And then she's checking, is he online? And all of this is happening, and she's spinning herself into a tizzy. And we were voice noting about the whole situation. And I asked her this question, and it was a rhetorical question, but you can answer it in your own head. I said, if this man was acting this way at the start of you talking to him, would you be where you are now with him? Probably not. Okay. So I think a lot of people do this where someone's really nice at the start, right? And then their energy switches up, but they're like, oh, but he was so nice before, or, oh, he bought me this, or, oh, he took me on this date, or, oh, we did all these things. And people really hold on to how well someone treated them in the past to justify current actions. But if you are only starting to see someone romantically, or even in a friendship, right? If someone's like a really good friend for the first month or 6 weeks, and then the energy shifts a little bit and you're left wondering, like, maybe they keep cancelling plans. And of course, everyone has a life, and that's not what I'm saying. But if you feel the energy shift in a friendship, I think it's a lot easier to be like, okay, what's going on here? And kind of, you know, you don't hyper fixate on it too much, right? When it's a friendship. But when it's a romantic relationship, we can get so, especially as women, if you're a straight woman, we are so guilty of this. We create a whole hypothetical future with someone before we even are truly sure, do we really, really like them? And, you know, we just get excited and we're romantic and we're wrapped up in everything, and we create all these hypothetical futures, and then they switch up their energy and we're kind of like, oh, but, you know, maybe he's stressed with work, maybe work's really busy, and we create all of these excuses. For what? If you've only known this man a month, you don't know this man. You know the version of this man who was trying to get you, and now he's comfortable. So you have to find a way to switch it all back up. This man should not be comfortable, or this person should not be comfortable within 4 weeks of knowing you to be like, oh yeah, I can cancel. Like, I'll just rearrange. Or, you know, someone doesn't cancel on you without making another plan. So hypothetically, you have a date with a guy this weekend, and it's all organized. And then on Thursday, he's like, oh my God, something came up, I'm so sorry, and cancels the date. There is two very, very, very big differences between him saying something came up, cancelling the date, and rescheduling. So saying, oh my God, sorry, I can't do dinner on Saturday, let's do X on Sunday. Like, let's go to the cinema on Sunday, or let's do it on Sunday instead, or I'll take you out Monday, or making another solid plan, and just cancelling flat out and like no alternative. They give two different energies, and you are in control of what energy you accept, because I think way too many people settle. I really do. I've said this in multiple episodes, and it's about different aspects of life. But if you've only started seeing someone, you're not married to this person, you have no commitment with this person, you don't have children with this person, you can choose better for yourself, okay? And I'm not saying this man that my friend was seeing is trash, but what I'm saying is I told her to reclaim her energy. Stop. Like, if someone isn't texting you back, do not keep texting them. Stand up, for the love of God. Like, you have a whole life outside of this person. You have to de-center this person from your universe, because this person is not your universe. You have no commitment to them. They're not your boyfriend. They are not your husband. They are just someone you are dating. Okay? That's all they are. And they might only ever be one person that you dated. You might look back in 5 years and barely even remember anything about them. But when you're in the starting of dating and all these hormones are being released and oxytocin, and you feel so close to this person, and maybe you've been single a while and you're like, oh, this is it. This is my new person. And that's the mistake we make, is we center someone way too much and we become hyper aware of how they act. So then any slight change in that, especially for my anxiously attached girlies, don't worry, I get you, we will completely try and control the situation. Whereas the only thing you can do if someone switches up their energy is control your energy. You match their energy. If they're not texting you the same way they did before, like, you can still be nice when you reply to them, but your whole day isn't revolving around responding to someone or seeing how they feel. Or if it's Wednesday or Thursday and you still don't know, are you seeing this person this weekend? You're not, you're busy. You have other plans. Okay? You're allowed to want better for yourself. Just because you've been single for a year doesn't mean you have to settle with the first person that comes along. You have to have standards. I think it's just so easy for a lot of us to forget our standards sometimes. Even if you're in a relationship, like if you're in a relationship, if you've been in a relationship for the past 2 years, I want you to do a little exercise, right? Think about your current relationship, if you're in a relationship, and think about how you are being treated, how much fun you're having together, date nights, like all of it. And think like, am I happy with how the relationship is going? Or am I just so blinded by my feelings for this person? Because of course, sometimes life happens and life is stressful and you can't give someone the energy you gave them at the start. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, if this person that you're in a relationship with was treating you when you first met them the way they treat you now, would you be in a relationship with them? And I think it's so important to reevaluate our happiness, because I think so many people stay in relationships because they settle, especially if you're not married and don't have kids. Like, you need to be consistently, reevaluating a relationship. Like, am I showing up the way I want to? Is he showing up the way I want him to? Are they showing up the way I want them to? Like, what is going on in my brain, and am I happy? And especially today, when this episode is dropping, there is a full moon in Scorpio. And full moons are always a time of like releasing things that are not serving you anymore, to allow for better things to come in and things that are more aligned. So usually along the time of a full moon, anything that ends or anything that you get rid of or anything that you decide isn't for you anymore is a good thing to get rid of, because it allows for more aligned relationships, friendships, situations, opportunities to come your way. Okay? Now, the second friend that I have been dealing with is someone who has been seeing someone for a longer time. So this person is her boyfriend. And she's been having a few issues here and there. And she was just like, I just don't know, do I like this person? Like, I just think I just don't want to be alone. And I swear to God, I voice noted her back and I said, you deserve so much more than staying with someone for the sake of not being alone. And I want to say that to you down the camera right now, if you are in this situation. You deserve so much more than staying with someone just so you're not alone. For the love of God, think about it. Think about what message you're giving to the universe by staying with someone that doesn't make you feel fulfilled, that doesn't make you feel loved, that maybe has a complete different love language for you. So you never feel loved or adored or cared for or supported. And you're not happy and you're not your full true self. You're not showing up as your full true self. You're not loving as your full true self. You don't feel loved as your full true self. Like, what are you doing? And that's what I said to her. I said, what are you doing? Like, why? I would rather, and I have said this since I was very young, and I've always had this mindset, I would rather be single than entertain the idea of someone just for the sake of the idea of them. Like, that's just telling the universe that you're not open to the best possible. Like, tell me how good it can get. Show me how good it can get. And I know sometimes people can get lonely, but I don't care. I don't care if you feel lonely. Why would you be with someone who more often than not is stressing you out, or you leave them and you feel like meh? I don't know. In my humble opinion, it's like, if I'm going to be in a relationship, I'm going to be in a relationship with someone who I feel like loves me the way I want to be loved, or shows up the way I want to be shown up for. Like, I'm not just going to be in this relationship willy-nilly. And I know sometimes we can get in a rut in life, and maybe work's not going good and other aspects of life aren't going good. So you don't want to deal with like the stress of ending a relationship as well as everything else going on. But you deserve all of the happiness that life has to give. You deserve all of the love that life has to give. There's nothing wrong with you for wanting more. And I think as women, we need to hear that, because we don't grow up in a society that rewards us for wanting more. Women didn't grow up in a society that rewards us for wanting more, or rewards us. You know, Timothée Chalamet did a speech recently at some award show. I'm paraphrasing here. And he basically said that he's aspiring to greatness, and that he has certain goals in his career, and that's what he's aspiring to. And everyone was like, oh my God, like that's what we want to see. If you saw a woman doing that same speech, there would be uproar. People would be, oh my God, she's just not grateful. She's so greedy. No. You're allowed to be greedy, okay? You are allowed to be greedy. It is your life. It's no one else's life that you're living right now. You are living your life for you. You're allowed to want a better job. You're allowed to want a better relationship. You're allowed to want anything. You're allowed to want what your soul wants. You don't have to consistently dim your voice. And I know this episode has taken a turn because I was talking about reclaiming your energy. And reclaiming your energy is so important. Like, there is a certain version of you that only certain people are allowed to access because of how they show up for you. And not everyone gets that version of you, because that's the premium, okay? The premium version of you is amazing. But not everyone gets to access the premium version of you, because to access that, they have to show up in a certain way. And that's so totally fine. If someone isn't showing up for you in a way that makes you feel loved or safe or happy, then why should they get the version of you that cares about them? You can support people, and you can not be jealous, and you can be supportive, but you don't have to be consistently putting yourself out for people who aren't showing up the same way for you. And I think that's so important. I just think sometimes we give a lot of our energy away when it's not warranted or when it's not deserved. Like, you don't have to constantly be worrying about someone else and someone else's life and what they're doing and what they're not doing if they're not showing up for you in any other way. Like, why do you need to consistently put yourself out to try and make someone else comfortable if they're not making you comfortable? And if they're not showing up for a way that you want, then why do you need to stress about doing that for them? I just wanted to remind you that it is okay to want more in life, and it is okay to have certain expectations of relationships and friendships. And of course, everyone is busy and everyone has certain things going on in their lives, but it is not okay for you to feel like you're constantly emptying your cup and someone else is never ever refilling it. And it's not even a case of like calling someone out. It's just a case of like stepping back and being like, okay, you know what? They don't get that premium version of me because they don't show up for me in that way, and I'm actually going to focus on myself and my life and what do I want to do and who am I going to make plans with. And instead of constantly waiting for other people to be the source of your happiness, like figure out how you can take all your power back and like reset your energy and be like, no, I'm not going to be constantly fueled by validation from relationships or friendships. Like, I'm here to live my life and I'm here to get what I want, and I don't have to settle, and I don't have to, be like, oh, but this person was so nice when we started dating a month ago, so I'm sure they're just like, you don't have to take disrespect, and you don't have to take disrespect from anyone else, and you definitely do not have to take disrespect from yourself. And I think personally, settling in a relationship or making consistent excuses for someone is just completely disrespecting yourself and disrespecting who you are and disrespecting your own life. Like, why aren't you important enough to deserve more, to want more, and to be okay with wanting more, and to be able to show up and be like, actually, yeah, this isn't working for me. Actually, yeah, I'm not happy in this situation. And you don't even have to over-explain yourself. Like, if you feel uncomfortable or if you feel unhappy with someone, with how they're communicating with you, with how they're showing up for you, with how they're not showing up for you, like, you don't have to over-explain yourself. Like, I have fully in the past been not happy with a situation, explained it a little bit, and then just protected my peace and separated myself from a certain person or a friendship or a relationship, and just taken a step back and been like, do you know what? No, I'm not engaging with this energy because I wouldn't treat this person that way in this situation. So therefore, why would I allow them to treat me in that way? You want to show up for people who show up for you. And if someone is treating you in a way that you would never ever dream of treating them, then that says everything. And I think in situations you can just make it that simple. Like, if something is going on and you feel disrespected, or you feel sad, or you feel like someone isn't communicating with you or isn't showing up for you or has switched up their energy, and you're left feeling anxious or lost or confused, just ask yourself this simple question. Like, if the reverse was happening, would I treat this person this way? Would I treat a friend that way? Would I treat a boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, husband, wife that way? Like, would I do that? And if the answer is no, then that's fine. Like, people are different, but you can go align yourself with someone who wouldn't treat you that way because you wouldn't treat them that way, if that makes sense. We all deserve more. Like, it's, why not? Why do you not deserve more? I'm so over this negative self-talk and thinking that you're not as good as other people because you put them on a pedestal. Like, take people off a pedestal, for the love of God. It's just about time we stand up and take people off pedestals. Like, no one is better than you because they have a certain lifestyle, or because they have a certain job, or because they have a certain amount of money, or because they have certain friends or certain connections or certain parents or a certain way of life, or they grew up in a certain place. Like, no one is better than you. Okay? So no one deserves more than you because of who they are. You deserve what you want just as much as anyone else deserves what they want. Okay? And you need to believe this. Like, you need to sit back and really say, no, why am I taking this level of disrespect? I don't deserve to be disrespected. You don't deserve to be disrespected, and you don't deserve to disrespect yourself. Okay? And if you are finding yourself in a consistent situation where either you feel disrespected or you are just willingly disrespecting yourself out of ease, today's episode is just your wake-up call and is what you needed to hear. So if you clicked on this episode and you have made it this far, if you've made it this far in this episode, I want you to leave a disco wall emoji in the comments on Spotify or YouTube. If you are listening there, I want you to leave a disco ball emoji in the comments. And that's just so I know that the girlies who heard this message and needed to hear this message, heard this message. I don't even care if this only speaks to one person. If some of you are like, that's not me, like, I don't disrespect myself, I don't allow disrespect, like, I have boundaries, that is amazing. I love that for you. but you probably didn't make it this far in the episode. And the girlies who did make it this far in the episode, you know what to do. Okay? We're not holding hands. We're not holding people's hands and being like, you don't need to make up 1,000,001 excuses for someone. Someone should be showing up for you the way that you deserve to be shown up for. And if someone isn't showing up for you that way, like, you're allowed to withdraw your energy. You're allowed to withdraw your energy if someone is not matching it. You do not have to keep coming to someone and coming, are you okay? Is everything okay? Can you call me? You shouldn't be begging someone for a text back. You shouldn't be begging for someone to make a plan with you. Okay? That is not the energy that is not hot girl energy. We all know that. We don't beg for anyone's attention or affection. Like, you should never put yourself in that position of feeling like you are less than, or feeling like you have to vie for someone's attention, or you have to vie to make a plan with someone, or you have to vie for respect. That's not the vibration that you want to be in. So don't forget, leave a disco ball, follow the pod on Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple. I loved hanging out with you today, and happy full moon in Scorpio. Check your rising sign, check where Scorpio is in your chart, go to the themes of that house, and there are themes that will be coming up for you. There's a new moon in 2 weeks, and I have a very secret, sneaky surprise for all of the girlies who are locked in on Hot Girl Guide. You're going to love this one. Thank you again for listening. I hope you set some boundaries today and match people's energies. Show up for the people who show up for you, okay? I love you so much. Goodbye.